Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan Rickert. I'm the Executive Director of Sports for the YMCA.
I'm AJ McCleod, and I'm the Senior Sports Director for Airport, Northpark, and Northwest YMCAs.
And AJ is new to RY. He joined us in July, and he comes to us from Lubbock.
I used to run. I used to be the team director for the YWCA of Lubbock, and I've ran a couple of Boys and Girls clubs in Lubbock. And I'm excited to be a part of your sports program this year.
And for those who don't know me, I've been with Fort Worth for about 2.5 years now, at various branches and everything. A lot of things have changed over the last year and a half. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with the slideshow and get y'all the information that you need. Okay, so our contact information is here with the branches that we cover. I'm overseeing Benbrook, Cook County, Joshua, Ryan, Sports Complex, and McDonald. And then AJ has the North branches, Airport, Northpark, and Northwest. Our emails are here if you don't already have them. Email is always the quickest way to get a hold of us just because we work at multiple branches. And so we're not always by the phone that's linked to us. So email is always quicker. We do ask that you include, if you have a question about your kid or your league, just include which location you're inquiring about, your child's name, and the sport they're playing in. So we're going to have, between soccer and volleyball, we're going to have about 2,000 kids almost. And then we have football coming up, and then basketball registration starting next month. So just kind of give us a few details in your email so that way we can help you out easier. So for those who haven't participated in the Y before, we are an organization that strives to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. So you'll notice in that it doesn't say anything about winning, who has the best record at the end of the season, who's the top player. We have kids that start out brand new in every single age group, and the kids who have played before, they get to all interact together, mentor each other, and just become friends that way. And, we just want this to be a positive experience and environment for all the kids. And with that, we do expect that all the players participate and get equal playing time. So we've already covered this with the coaches that unless a player is not feeling well or they are injured or, just for some reason don't feel like going in, then they should be getting the same amount of playing time as everybody else. And if there is a reason they're not going in, just to let the official know and the parents, so that way we're not wondering why they're sitting on the bench for so long. We also covered with the coaches that the players should not be penalized playing time for missing a practice. We understand that the majority of the time it's out of the player's control. And so we do ask that as a parent, if you're going to miss or you're going to be late or anything like that, just keep the coach informed and updated so that way they know how to plan their day and know what's going on. And then if you guys have not heard about our annual campaign before, this is how we raise scholarship funds to fund memberships, programs, anything to do with the Y. Families can apply for a scholarship, and it will reduce the fees that they have to pay, so that way no one's turned away due to an inability to pay, and that way everyone can participate. The really exciting thing is that the sports department this year has its own goal. So we will be out there more talking about it. We'll be interacting with the coaches and the teams about how you can get involved. But this is really exciting to be able to impact the sports community in Fort Worth and in our surrounding areas that we have. And so just look out for that information. But we're really excited to have sports have its own goal and be excited for that.
As Morgan was saying, we have kids on all levels and all ages, so we want to make this a team effort, and parent participation is very important to us. We want you to always support your team and be encouraging. The kids will feed off your reaction, so let's keep it positive. All of our coaches are volunteers. Most of our referees are younger high school kids, so keeping that positive attitude. Parents, coaches, and players should always respect our YMCA staff, officials, and opposing players and parents. One of our good rule of thumb is just treat a kid how you want your kid to be treated. And we want you to participate throughout the entire process, getting your kids to practice, coming to support at the games, screaming, yelling, supporting your kid, being happy for them, shouting. So just keeping it positive and inclusive is what we really want you guys to do as parents.
Absolutely. And then if y'all have been in a volleyball gym before, it's not super loud, especially when kids are serving and all that. So just remember that your voices can carry. So that's why we really want to make sure that everything we're saying is positive, because sometimes when I watch at the gyms, you can hear a pin drop in there. So just always be aware of what you're saying. And then this season, we will be bringing back our Sportsmanship of the Week award. This is where we ask the coaches after week one to email us if they have a nomination for a player that they felt displayed the YMCA core values of caring, honesty, respect, responsibility, or faith. So this can be during a practice or a game. And so if they have a player that they want to nominate, they will send us a couple sentences about why, and then at the end of the week, AJ and I will go through our programs and look through the nominations. We'll pick one player to recognize that week, and we'll bring them a Sportsmanship Award t-shirt, and then we'll recognize them before their first game and take a picture with their team. So it's super exciting. We usually surprise the players with it, and it's just something extra that gets the kids talking more about what sportsmanship is.
Our YMCA coaches all are volunteers, and they must complete a volunteer application and a background check on file in order to coach. Those coaches who have already completed that have received access or will receive access to their rosters. If you would like to coach, please, we are looking for coaches all the time. Be nice to our coaches because they are volunteers and taking time out of their days. Just remember that they're volunteers who are giving their time after work to come work with our kids.
And then for practices, for those who participate in the spring, you know that we couldn't have a lot of practice sites due to COVID. So we have already submitted our gym requests to the North ISDs. We'll have YMCA space available. We might have another church available. So we will be able to provide practice space for the teams for 1 hour each week that the coaches can reserve. If they choose to practice at their own location, that's completely fine too. But we will have access to more locations than we did in the spring. So as far as practices go, for the South region, those practices can start as early as August 30th. Now, that does not mean that all practices will start on August 30th. It'll be throughout the week, but some teams might choose to wait till the next week. That's completely fine. We just want to be able to provide an opportunity for teams to get 1 or 2 practices before the season starts. So if your team isn't practicing the week of August 30th, that is fine. We're just trying to give y'all as much time as possible. And then for the North region, it'll start September 7th. Since that season is going to start 1 week later than the South. If you are associated with the Northwest YMCA gyms, we have already let the coaches know that we cannot get into the ISD gyms for EMS until September 9th or September 16th. That's the earliest date that they can get us in. So we'll have practice options available on that Thursday and Friday before the season starts. And so coaches can practice at an alternative location before that. I know teams have practiced outside. They've done different drills in different areas, but we just won't have access to those facilities until the 16th. And then Player Space will be our communication platform, and it'll be where you can view your team, your schedules. You can message your team and coaches, post updates to the team page. So some of the teams might choose to have their own separate group text, which is completely fine. Just know that any communication coming from the YMCA will come from Player Space. It gives us a text and an email option, so that way if we need to get something out to you quickly, we can send it by text as well. And then so you guys will begin receiving links this week about joining Player Space. So look at those, check your junk mails, and then you can click on the link and create your account if you don't already have one. And then the game schedules will be posted by the end of the day on September 3rd, and you will receive a notification when those are posted.
Of course, all of our rules can be found at our YMCAFW.org website. Our team limits are 12 players per team. It'll be 6v6. Only one head coach and one assistant should be on the bench. Coaches on the bench must have completed a background application, as we already talked about, and we ask that they wear a coach's shirt. It doesn't matter what color if you've already coached before. We just want parents to be able to identify those coaches, so that way you know who's coaching your kids and who to look for if you're new to the league. Playing illegal or ineligible players will result in suspension, so we need your help in letting us know if players who aren't on your roster are playing, or if a player's playing up when they're not supposed to be, or playing down. That's just something, we can't be everywhere at once, so we want your help in identifying those things, because we want it to be inclusive of the players who signed up. Any misbehavior, verbal or physical, from coaches, parents, or players will result in suspension as well. And again, we need your help with those things. We want you guys to be positive. We want our coaches to be positive. We want our kids to not put each other down and be positive with one another and make new friends. And that's what our league is about. So we'll need your help, and we'll be on the lookout for those kind of things, but those things will result in suspension.
All right, so for uniforms, the YMCA will provide a jersey. It's going to be long sleeve. If you participated in the last season or two, it's going to be the same dry fit jerseys. So we will provide that, and then parents will provide everything else. So if shorts, we don't have a specific color or anything that the shorts need to be. Same for socks. I know some teams like to get matching socks together, which is fine. All the players do need to have knee pads, though. That is mandatory. And they do need to wear them for games, and obviously practices, but they have to, our referees are going to be checking before games. And then we will notify the coaches when the jerseys arrive and can be picked up. Usually we get our first 2 orders of jerseys in before the season starts, and then we'll place another one for anybody who registered late or switched teams late after the season starts. And so they do arrive pretty close to the season, but as soon as they're in and ready to go, we will notify the coaches, and then they will pass them out to you. And then all rosters will be on the jersey bag when the coaches pick it up. It'll have the kid's name and the size that they ordered. And so we've been very explicit with the coaches that they should not be giving a child a different jersey than the size that they ordered, because that really messes up our inventory, as I've seen in previous seasons. If a child registers late and their jersey isn't in the bag, then their name will be highlighted, so that way the coach knows that their jersey's on a later order. But we're trying to make sure that everyone gets the right jersey the first time around, because we'll have about 2,000 kids that we're overseeing and trying to get jerseys for in September. So we just know that we have let the coaches know that as well. And so, as we mentioned earlier, coaches have started receiving their rosters this week. Some coaches already had all their volunteer application filled out and completed because they've coached in previous seasons. Some of them are still filling it out. So we've asked them to contact parents no later than August 24th. We do still have early registration going on until August 22nd. So that's when the majority of our registrations come through, is during this registration period. We just wanted to start getting parents and coaches information earlier, so that way it's not a rush at the end to try and get everything done. So just know that that you should be contacted by either the Y or your coach by the 24th. Volleyball games for the South Region branches are going to begin September 11th, and the North Region is September 18th. And then as far as no coach teams go, if you participated before, you know what this is about, and this is nothing new. This is nothing that most people haven't been in this situation before, but we just need a lot of coaches every year. And this year we're going to have more players participating in every sport, every division, and we need help from the parents. The majority of the time, 98% of the folks who are coaches are parents who have a kid participating in the league. And so if you do not have a coach yet, then AJ or I will be contacting those teams on August 23rd, next Monday, after early registration ends, and we will be looking for volunteers. So if you think that it's something that you already be willing to do, please go ahead and reach out to us, because the more slots we can get filled this week, the better. And then if we are not able to get a volunteer via email next week, then we will look at planning a meet and greet for the team the week of August 30th or the week of September 7th for the North branches. So that way the teams can meet each other, the kids can meet each other, the parents can talk, and we can figure out who one person or a group of persons that would like to help coach the team. We will get a coach for every single team, so we're not going to consolidate teams because we don't have a coach. We will get a volunteer for each team. Sometimes it just takes longer than others, but again, if that's something that you think you'd already be willing to do, go ahead and let us know, and that way we can just get more slots filled this week. Like we said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our emails are here again, and we can answer questions you have. If you have questions about future sports, those are listed on our website. We have all the calendars for the fall. We also have the rules for our soccer and volleyball leagues on there, so feel free to take a look at those. But we are very excited for y'all to join us this season, and we hope to see y'all out there.
See you soon. Have a good one.